Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today, on the Game and Gig podcast, we're recapping the Game Awards.
All right, man, before we get started, I don't know if you noticed, but we hit 600 subscribers on the podcast channel.
Oh, I noticed. I've been riding that high for a couple days now.
Yeah, that means we're well on our way to our 1,000 subscriber goal. So if you're new here and you're not subscribed already, if you like gaming conversations, we'd love it if you throw us a subscribe.
That's
and help
right.
us make our way to that 1,000 subscriber goal.
That's right. You know, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, and a lot of them will hit you with all these convoluted statistics about how 67.946% of you that watch the videos aren't subscribed. Well, guys, we're not going to do that crap. Just throw us a subscribe.
Yeah, that's right. And now we're going to talk about the Game Awards.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, bet you didn't see that coming. So the Game Awards happened. We streamed it. That was lots of fun. It was long, as the Game Awards always is.
I think I'm still sleepy.
I think I am too. Still sleepy from the Game Awards. But lots of cool stuff happened. Obviously, the big thing was that Baldur's Gate 3 ended up with the title of Game of the Year.
Spoilers, buddy. Spoilers.
Hey, if you haven't seen it by now, news. And we're going to talk a lot about Baldur's Gate 3 a little later on in the podcast. But first, I just want to kind of go quickly over some of the announcements, some of the quick winners. Just give us some brief thoughts on some things that we thought were interesting. Speaking of Baldur's Gate 3, we got an Xbox version now.
Yep.
It shadow dropped on Twitter after, I don't know what was up with that.
That was very confusing because Larian said they're going to tell us when it's going to come to Xbox at the Game Awards. And then right before they won Game of the Year, it felt like, they ran this big trailer and then it showed physical versions of Baldur's Gate 3 for Xbox and it had no date.
No date.
And we were sitting there like, what the crap? Like, when's it coming out, And then they tweeted. It was weird.
Yeah, they tweeted that it was available digitally on Xbox. The physical versions are coming later. It's like a collector's edition.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a thing. It's cool that it's on Xbox now.
Super cool.
I'm
just waiting for crossplay now.
It's just strange to me that it wasn't. Maybe they prepared the trailer before they knew it would be ready, or like maybe they didn't want people going to buy it digitally when they were going to get the collector's edition. I don't know.
I really can't make rhyme or reason out of that one. But congrats to Baldur's Gate because it slaps.
Another shadow drop we got was that Final Fantasy 16 has a DLC that was shadow dropped.
It's free.
Cool. Is it free? I didn't know it was free.
Wait,
I don't know that.
Did I get that confused? I thought that one was free. There's several free DLCs that got in there. I know the God of War one is free.
Yeah, I don't know about this Final Fantasy 16,
maybe
but it's
wrong.
called Echoes of the Fallen. I kind of don't think it is free, but it was like shadow drop. It was like available now.
16 Echoes of the Fallen DLC.
I don't know that I'm going to play this. I did really like Final Fantasy 16, but I don't know that I'm going to get into this DLC just because I've got other games to play. If I was like really looking for more Final Fantasy 16, I probably would get into it because it was a great game.
Yeah, no, it's not free.
No, it's not free.
My bad.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
But like you said, the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC is free.
Yes.
It seems like it's a roguelike sort of mode.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm definitely going to play that.
Yeah.
Are you going to jump back into God of War?
I might try it. Yeah, I might try it. It doesn't seem like that mode doesn't exactly appeal to me. I'm more like, when I'm thinking God of War, I'm more interested in the story stuff. And the action is just an awesome, companion to that. This seems to be more totally about the combat and the action, and okay.
It's got great combat, though.
It does.
I mean, it'd be perfect for something like this, in my opinion. But what's going to be, now, can I be spoilery? Can I spoil Ragnarok?
I don't know. Probably not. I think it's still less than 2 years old. I don't know when the expiration date is on spoilers.
Well, I'm curious about some of the things that will be available during the DLC.
Okay.
Just throw it out.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and totally.
Some of the combat elements.
Yeah, exactly. And if you played any of the Ragnarok or any of the God of War games, you know that new things are introduced throughout the campaign, and that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, kind of. I don't know that you... I don't know if you picked up on it or not. It's a story beat that I feel like would influence the way the combat plays out massively. And it happens at the end of the game. And so it depends on when this is set, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Because I think I could spoil 2018 God of War.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I wasn't talking about that.
Okay.
But anyways, we're just going to stop speaking in code here.
Yeah.
And move on. Dave the Diver's getting a Dredge crossover DLC.
Yeah, and that's super cool. I mean, both those fishing-based games came out this year, and everybody loved them. So I think that's like it almost writes itself, like that's going to be great.
Yeah, it's cool that we got to see these things come together. Skull and Bones. I don't know if Skull and Bones had a release date. It's coming out February 16th. I know it's been delayed a million times.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Anymore. Ubisoft.
Yes. We came to the conclusion. There's the hotly debated topic of, is it Ubisoft or is it Ubisoft? Now, I have been a constant with the Ubisoft. Daniel has always been Ubisoft.
I haven't always been Ubisoft. I used to be Ubisoft, and then I realized I don't like saying it. So I started saying Ubisoft because I was like, I don't know which one's right. I'm going to say the one that feels better to me. But every time they introduce a game, they say a Ubisoft/Ubisoft original. They don't say an.
They don't say an.
Now, I ain't no, English whiz.
That's true.
That's true. And I don't know if it's based off whether or not the first letter is a vowel or if it's based off the way it sounds. But I know that a Ubisoft original sounds a lot better than an Ubisoft original. No, sorry.
A
Ubisoft original.
Right.
So I've decided to switch back.
The decision's been made. Daniel's a great example of, guys, you can change. You don't have to be stuck in a rut.
You don't.
You can be willing to make changes.
That's right. Be open-minded. You don't have to be right about everything as long as you're right occasionally.
That's right. Another thing I was interested in, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is getting a remake. I loved that game. Super cool. I was having some tech issues when this game was being announced, and I missed if it is... I know it's coming out. Is it going to have a co-op mode like the Switch version of the game did? I hope, because that was really cool.
It takes two people, right?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I would think it will be co-op.
It wasn't originally.
Really?
No,
but
it was
that's
one of those games.
Their thing now, though.
It was one of those games where one stick controlled one character and one stick controlled the other. But on the Switch version, only on the Switch version, they actually made it so that you could just play it with two people. So that was really fun. And I figured this remake should do that. It should have both options.
Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to see if I could find that quickly on a Google search, but I hadn't found it yet.
It's pretty rare that a game does that.
In single-player mode, navigate the story as both brothers in tandem or play in local co-op with a friend.
Cool. That's awesome. You guys should definitely try that game. Really fun. Whether you're playing it by yourself or in co-op, it's a fun game. It's obviously a lot easier in co-op because the whole challenge is that you're controlling two different things. It's like a lot of puzzles and stuff, and you have to do both sides of it, get both sides of your brain working. But in co-op, you just kind of spread it out. But it's still a really awesome game.
Yeah.
Very short, though. Super short game. Only a couple hours long.
Yeah, I might have to look into that because I loved It Takes Two, so I'm definitely open to these guys. We also, of course, we got some more Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth stuff. No surprise there, honestly. I think everybody's excited, and I think everybody's sold on that one. So,
it won most anticipated game, so.
Yeah. I mean, and I get it. I totally get it. It's not what I voted for. I voted for Hades, too. But that's because that's what I want more. But I'm not at all shocked.
You highlighted Windblown. That's the game from the Dead Cells people.
Yeah, so I played Dead Cells when it was new. I thought it was really cool. It kind of ran its course with me, but it's had some staying power. It's got the Castlevania DLC. It's still popular. So this game is exciting to me. I'm going to try it out.
I don't even remember what it looked like. Did it look Dead Cells-y, or did it look different? Have they been changed? Have they changed up?
It looks different, but I think it is. I think it does have some roguelike elements. I would be shocked if it didn't. But I already wishlisted it, so I'm excited.
There you go. We got Guilty Gear Strive has got a new mode. They're introducing a 3v3 kind of team battle mode thing.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is team because that's the only way it could work.
Right, yeah.
I mean, this is like the old Marvel versus Capcom games. They were team fighters, and Dragon Ball FighterZ is a team fighter. This is a really popular subgenre, and to bring that mode into a game that's already super hot, that's cool. That might I might try it out. I haven't played Strive in a while, but that might be a reason.
Is Guilty Gear Strive still really hot? I mean, I know
Strive's popular. Okay. Yeah, they're still releasing DLC characters.
That's all. Yeah, I saw that. In fact, they was it. At the Game Awards, they showed a trailer for a new DLC character? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if that was before or during. Okay, we also got another trailer for Hellblade 2. And trailer looked awesome. No release date, just a release year, 2024, which I'm pretty sure we already knew that. So that was really disappointing to me as a person who's very, very much looking forward to this one. It might be my most anticipated game for next year.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. I love the first one.
The trailer looks fire. So,
Yeah.
And there literally was a lot of fire. So I really want to play the first one before this one comes out. That's my goal. You know, we got another look at Visions of Mana, or maybe it was actually, I don't know if that was announced or if that was another look. I'm not up on that.
It had leaked. So that's probably what's
leaked.
confusing you, because it had leaked out. The trademark of the name had leaked out, so we knew it was going to happen. But it was the first time we saw it.
Yeah. So that was exciting to me because I've been trying to get more into these JRPGs, and I know that the Mana series is one of the big ones. So, you know, it made my radar. Not sure if I'll play it on release, but I'm playing Dragon Quest XI now, so who knows when I want to jump back into another big JRPG, but I was glad to see it.
We also got a lot of announcements from SEGA, kind of like a quick trailer showing a lot of things that they're working on, a lot of remakes of either remakes or reimaginations of their old, some old IPs they have, stuff like Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, like those sorts of things.
Yeah, those are all big too.
Yeah.
Like,
or they were at one time.
Well, they're big names.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And people love Streets of Rage 4. Like that game was big when it came out. So was that Sega developed though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've not played it.
I don't either.
Crazy Taxi though, I loved Crazy Taxi.
That game is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old ones were great. I'm interested in this Shinobi remake because I love The Messenger, and The Messenger took a lot from Shinobi. So that would be cool for me to go back and play a newer Shinobi.
We got Hideo Kojima came out and announced.
Yes, he did.
OD.
Man,
it's the game that we for a while we've heard the rumors that he was working with Microsoft and Xbox on a game that leveraged cloud stuff.
Yeah,
and apparently this is it.
It looked great. I know so much about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about the game, and it looked terribly unsettling, is all I know. All we got was some close-up shots of some faces.
Yeah.
And they were freaky.
And they said it's like a game / a movie. It's hard to describe because it's a new form of media.
Yeah, well, Kojima's gone down this road before. Like,
right.
I'm not surprised to hear such lofty praise of his own project from him. Like, that does not shock me.
Right, it's kind of like what was the most recent game?
Death Stranding?
Death Stranding. That was a new form of game, and no one had made a game like that.
Right. And no one had walking in games before Kojima. Kojima invented walking in games.
No one had created a package delivery game. Honestly, I loved Death Stranding. Yeah. I loved that game. It had such a cool vibe.
Was it a new form of gaming?
It was different than any other game I've played. I will give it that.
Different in what ways? Like, just in the way the story was told? Like, in the...
I had never played a game that was exactly like that, but you could say that about any game, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say that it was different. It combined a lot of elements from other games. And what it did feel unique to me, was it like groundbreaking, the first game of its kind? Maybe not. But.
Yeah. I think Kojima is cool. I can't say that I've ever been hooked by any of his games personally.
Right.
But I do get a little tired of when Kojima comes out, it's like it's always this like there's a god among us and this is his next master plan, and I just kind of get tired of all the fanfare. Like,
I get it. I do. I get it.
I don't know. I just thought it felt weird to me. It felt especially weird, like at the Game Awards, because it's like, we're not even letting some awards like even make a speech, right? And then everybody who does, we're rushing off the stage in like 30 seconds. Thanks, Christopher Judge.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And then Kojima comes out and talks for like 10 minutes about this game that isn't a game, but it is a game, and it's a new form of media, but it's a movie. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then Jordan Peele comes out and talks for another like 5 minutes about how great Kojima is.
Right.
And I was like, come on, like, can we not allocate just a little more time to the people getting the awards? Like, I didn't love that decision, Jeff Keighley.
Hey, Jeff Keighley and Kojima are buds.
I know, man.
They are buds.
They probably play Valorant together like every night.
They do. We also, we got a new Marvel game announced. We got Blade. This is going to be from, the people who made Deathloop. And hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be an M-rated, like, third-person Blade game. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's interesting that it's third person. I think that's good.
I think that's good, too.
Third-person games typically do better. In terms of, like, if we're looking for, Marvel games, Like our Spider-Man game would obviously be much weirder if it was first person.
Oh, man.
So that wouldn't, you know.
Yeah. I think now that you say that, it would kind of be neat for there to be like an option to occasionally play in first person and see like the hood that Spider-Man sees. And so that would actually be kind of neat, but I wouldn't want to play the whole game that way.
Right. And if they gave it an option, it'd be cool. Like what Grand Theft Auto 5 gave you that option. It was, you know, most people don't play GTA 5 in first person, but you can.
Yeah. Skyrim.
Right. Skyrim.
Most people don't play that in third person, but you can.
Yep.
You know?
Totally.
Also, we didn't highlight this, but Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I think we both had a little bit of interest in just because we're such OG Dragon Ball fans. That game's apparently going to have the biggest roster of any Dragon Ball fighting game ever.
That's cool.
Everything from Dragon Ball to the upcoming Dragon Ball Dama anime, including GT. They're going to have stuff from everything.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is exciting. I've not been that into fighting games, but in my childhood, the Dragon Ball fighting games I definitely love.
Yeah, and this is not going to be. This is going to be like that.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be like
fighters.
Like fighters. Yeah. This is going to be like Budokai.
Now, I didn't play any fighters, but it looked okay.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
visually.
It is
okay.
really good. That's why it's That's why it's stuck around. Yeah.
Also, we got Light No Fire.
Light No Fire. That's right.
Yeah, this is a game from the No
Country for Old Men.
Yeah, what's the game? What did they make?
I can't remember.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I know I can, but it's
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. That's
No Man's Sky.
Okay.
No Man's Sky.
Glad we highlighted this.
I was like, I literally knew the first. I was like, it's no something, but then I like blanked. No Man's Sky.
So yeah.
About that.
So No Man's Sky was one of those games that I was real hyped for, as were you, most likely. And when it came out, I was real let down by, as were you, most likely. Now, years later, it has been salvaged and fixed, and apparently it's amazing now. But I feel like there's a lesson to be learned there.
It was overhyped.
It was a little overhyped.
And then they come out talking about this Light No Fire game, and what do? They overhype it.
They didn't underhype it.
Yeah.
You know what they said? They said, this is the first true open world in the sense that it's Earth.
Yeah.
Open.
Yep.
And
with mountains that are real, not video game mountains, real mountains that are miles high.
You see that mountain? You can go to that mountain. Tim Howard, I'm telling you what.
Yeah. Oh, Tim.
Old Tim was sitting in the audience so proud there. But I think it's also got like some MMO.
It did. It seemed like you were all going to be playing together on this open world. Wild stuff.
That sounds so cool.
It is like they don't what they shot themselves in the foot.
Man.
If it doesn't deliver, it's going to be the same thing again.
And I'm not saying they can't do it, but they probably can't because how can you do that?
Right.
You know, like I'm not trying to crap on them at all. Like they've made No Man's Sky amazing eventually.
Right.
But is this going to be ready on release? And when is it going to be released? I mean, 2030?
Right.
Like,
who knows? It definitely came across to me as being like, no, you've done it again.
Yeah.
Why? Why not just be a little more cautious about what you say?
Yeah, just exactly. Like we're working on a massive multiplayer online open world exploration game. We'll have more details in the future.
Right.
Give me something like that.
They could have even said like, here's what we want to do. This is what we're hoping for. But no, they were like, it's happening.
Oh. And I feel like even Jeff was thinking that. Could you see his face?
Oh, after he was like, yeah.
I think he said like lofty goals there or something.
Yeah, he said something to like try to like temper expectations, but too late.
I mean, I hope they do it.
Maybe they realize like, hey, this gave us so much in terms of like momentum going into No Man's Sky. Let's just do it again. You know, it obviously worked for them the first time.
I think they've done it.
No, they have. They have. All right. So those are some of the announcements. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to some of the awards. We already said Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year, and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit.
Yep. Larian Studios guy came up on stage, full suit of plate mail.
He did.
Actually, I don't think his legs were in plate mail, so could have chopped him in the leg, I guess.
But old BG3 won many awards. It won Player's Voice, which is the entirely fan-voted award. So that's cool.
Very.
It also won some other stuff. Let me see if I can find it.
Best Performance.
Best Performance.
Neil
best,
Newbin.
Yep. Best Community Support. Let's see. There was some other thing. Best RPG.
Oh, yeah. Clearly.
You know, we all thought that was going to Starfield. Turns out, nope. Baldur's Gate 3 is better, apparently.
Randy throwing shade. Let's see. Did we get anything else? Baldur's Gate.
Best multiplayer.
Best multiplayer. I mean, it cleaned up.
It really did. So Baldur's Gate 3 came with a ton of stuff. You know, everyone was thinking that it was going to come down between Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom didn't get it, but Tears of the Kingdom did win Best Action Adventure Game.
But that's it, isn't it?
Ooh, it won Best Action Adventure. It also won Best Soundtrack.
It did?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it won Best Soundtrack.
I thought it did. Best Score and Music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best Score and Music. Oh, wait. I thought Final Fantasy 16 won that.
That's what I thought too. That's why I was surprised to see that highlighted there.
Well, maybe the source I got this from was incorrect.
Best Sound and...
Best Score and Music.
Score and Music.
Because it definitely went to Final Fantasy 16.
Because, I mean, we talked about how we thought that was deserved.
Yeah, because when it came up, I was like, Final Fantasy 16.
FF16.
Okay, well, the source I got this from was wrong. Whoever put this article together that I copied and pasted from, they had it wrong on their website.
What a loser.
What a loser.
But, you know, we talked about how we thought it was going to come down to Tears of the Kingdom, like you said, and Baldur's Gate, but I'm not so sure it did.
What do you mean by that?
It just seemed like Alan Wake had a little more shine than I thought it would.
Alan Wake won a lot of things. It definitely did. It won a Best Game Direction. It won Best Narrative. I think it won Best, something else, too. Maybe Audio Design. No, that was Hi-Fi Rush. What else did Alan Wake win?
Scrolling through, I'm not seeing anything yet. No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
But they also had my favorite moment of the Game Awards. That musical number was moving.
Yep, definitely. So, yeah, we got some cool stuff. That's pretty much it in terms of, the big ones. There wasn't really anything crazy that I was... Oh, Best Indie.
I was about to say, there's one we can't be glossing over
Indie
here, buddy.
and Debut Indie.
Yeah, so... Best indie game, Sea of Stars. So deserving. Didn't go to Dave the Diver like I was afraid it would. Watch our previous podcast if you want more of our take on that. But I was so relieved to see how that played out.
We were talking about Nintendo stuff a second ago. Nintendo did pick up some other awards besides Best Action Adventure. They got Best Strategy and Family Game.
Yep.
Strategy game went to Pikmin 4. Great game.
Yep.
Best Family Game went to Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which was also awesome. So,
yeah.
Lots of great stuff there. Yeah. Best Adaptation went to The Last of Us, which was cool.
Yeah, I was glad to see that. I thought it might go to the Mario movie, which I also loved, but I didn't like it as much as Last of Us.
Yeah.
SF6 got Best Fighting Game. I was glad to see that.
Same. I was excited to see it for your sake because I know that's what you were rooting for.
I wanted that real bad.
Yeah.
It's so deserving. Such a good game.
Well, speaking of deserving, we're going to move on to the big poll, which is, do you think Baldur's Gate 3 deserved to win Game of the Year?
Yeah, we asked the Gaming Gig faithful, and at 66% people said, yeah, BG3 slaps. And at 34% people said, absolutely not. It slaps, but it doesn't slap that hard. Nobody doesn't like Baldur's Gate.
Right. Well, a lot of people do love it, but it was such a great year for gaming that definitely people had their preferences, and not everyone wanted Baldur's Gate 3 to win. Although I do think I saw a stat that Baldur's Gate 3 was the best selling out of all the games that were up for the award.
Really?
I think it sold
That's huge.
I think the next up was Tears of the Kingdom, which almost reached the same amount in terms of how many copies sold.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 has taken over. I mean, there's probably not hardly any PC gamers who have not tried it. I mean, it's a huge thing.
It's enormous. It came out of almost nowhere for me. It just dropped and took the world over.
It really did.
And it's Dungeons and Dragons. What a testament to the game.
Oh, yeah. It's super cool. But we, definitely have some comments of people saying whether they agree or disagree with Baldur's Gate 3 winning Game of the Year. But before we do that, I want to tell you guys about our Discord server. So we have a Discord server, and there's an invite link in the description of this podcast, wherever you're watching or listening to it. And you can join us there. And what we do is we take comments on these polls and stuff. And the first place we go is our Discord server. So if you want your comment read and reacted to on the podcast, being a member of our Discord server is a better way to assure that we read and react to your comment.
That's right. Not only will you maybe get featured in the Game and Geek podcast, but you even get a direct line of communication with me and Randy.
That's not a selling point, I'm afraid.
Well, I try to temper expectations for part of that.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just a Discord server at the end of the day, you know, and we're there, so it can't be that good.
It's amazing. Don't listen to Randy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on to people's comments about BG3 winning Game of the Year.
Yeah, so we got a comment from Kit. Kit said, making the industry cope with, no, don't raise gamer standards. We have to be able to underdeliver. Crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji was wild.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people were, you know, saying that, like, this really did raise the expectations for, like, what's expected. This game has no microtransactions. It doesn't have any, like, loot boxes. It seems like it's just a game that you buy and play, and it has tons and tons and tons of content, and it's not behind paywalls, and it's really high quality.
Did it even, like, release with any huge game-breaking bugs that everybody got pissed off about? Because I don't even remember that.
No, it didn't, but you have to consider the fact that it was in early access for years. So
they
work those things out.
I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at them for doing their homework.
Right. They did it the right way. You know, They took their time. They worked on it over time. So, yeah. But by the time it actually fully released, it was a fully fledged, full game that wasn't trying to milk you dry with all your money, you know?
No, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of content.
Yeah.
It just with seemingly no limitations on player choice or any of that. Like, it's pretty crazy.
It is. It's insane. But we have the flip side of this coin, too. Not everyone thinks Baldur's Gate 3 should have won. We got Tom Derry here who says, no, Tears of the Kingdom should have won. I know I'm not the only person who thought themselves by playing, where do video games even go from here? It seems the answer is Baldur's Gate 3, RE4 Remake, and Alan Wake 2. Something tells me Tears of the Kingdom got snubbed.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I voted for Tears of the Kingdom because that's exactly how I felt when I was playing it. I was like, this is the pinnacle, you know? And I still feel that way. It's still one of my favorite games ever. But I don't think Baldur's Gate 3 was undeserving.
No, I mean, it may not have been my personal favorite game, but I totally get why it won, and I don't disagree with it.
Yeah, and I don't think, I still do feel like it probably came down to BG3 and Tears of the Kingdom. Alan Wake, I'm sure, was in the conversation. I don't think RE4 Remake was, personally. I loved RE4 Remake, but I don't think it measures up to those games. Like in the terms of scope and, you know, just delivering on something that's so grand.
I don't know. I think it depends on your personal preference. I mean, like, in terms of, like...
It's also a remake.
Like, yeah, it's a remake. In terms of, like, up for Game of the Year, I agree. Do I like RE4 Remake more than Baldur's Gate 3 personally? Yes. But I wouldn't have, considered it to be a true candidate for Game of the Year because it is a remake. Although it's amazing. I mean, I loved it.
I loved it too. Yeah. One day I'll play the DLC.
It's very good too. You'll like it.
All right, we got another comment from Morris Dennison. If they don't get Game of the Year, it gives AAA developers an excuse to keep being mediocre. Honestly, BG3 got cheated out of a couple of awards they deserved. Honestly, though, Alan Wake 2 deserved a bunch of those rewards too. Just wish they would have a physical release already.
It's interesting. Both Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, no physical releases on those games. Now, it is coming around. Baldur's Gate 3 is getting a physical release, but way late. It may be that Alan Wake 2 might also eventually get a physical release.
Do you think that's going to, like, reinforce a trend?
It very well could. I mean, I don't like it, but it's obviously not hurting the games. Because we see, like, the two big games that came out this year that didn't get physical releases, here they are in the Game of the Year conversation. In fact, won.
Yeah.
You know? So it doesn't, just because you don't have a physical release doesn't mean that you're not a candidate for being one of the best games of the year. It just doesn't slow you down that much.
And I think we're kind of dinosaurs. I don't think that many people care anymore.
I don't think they do. I think that a majority of the people, over 50%, probably buy it digitally anyway. So they look at their and those remaining people who do like to buy physically, it's not they're not going to play the game just out of principle. At least very few of them are.
Right.
I love physical games. That's how I typically buy games. But I still wanted to play Alan Wake 2, so I bought the game digitally.
Yeah. And the first place I go is to see how it would run on Steam Deck. And if it runs good, I buy it on Steam. So I have a lot of digital games now. You know, that's the first place I look. If I buy it elsewhere, I want the physical one.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
So, I don't know. Yeah, we're definitely a little old-fashioned. And a lot of people are. I mean, it's like physical still needs to be there. And I wish these games would get physical releases. But, you know, hey, that's just where we're at.
It is. We got us a comment here from Mario Sonic fan. You know, I wish they could find some games they like. Who said, I no joke, never even heard of it until the Game Awards.
You know what? I was surprised at how many comments. This is just one I took. But there were tons of comments, both on the polls we put, on the shorts that I made, and on TikTok, everything that I was making about this game. So many people said they had never heard of the game.
I get that reaction at school from kids. You know, if the kids are like, hey, you know, what are you playing right now? Or I even talked to someone about the Game Awards, like, because they some of them kind of know what it is. And a lot of them didn't know what Baldur's Gate was. Because all they do is play Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, yeah. But that being said, Baldur's Gate really has broken through into the general gaming audience, but maybe not so much as, like, say, like Mario and Sonic, which is used as an example. We got Mario Sonic fan here.
I would say probably not.
But it has broken through and has become, at least in the conversation with people who don't traditionally play these computer RPGs, like you and me. We're definitely not the general audience for that. But here we are, both playing the game, enjoying it, and finding out that these games can be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a testament to the game.
Yeah. But there are a lot of people who haven't found it. But you could say that about literally every game. I saw someone that they had said they hadn't heard of Spider-Man 2. They were like, Spider-Man 2? What's that?
They were like, they making games off that comic book now?
Yeah.
Man, I remember reading that thing with my pappy.
So there's always going to be people who don't know what games there are. You remember reading Spider-Man with your pappy?
Yeah, man. My pappy would take me down to the, we'd go get us an ice cream, root beer float, and we'd get us a couple, and the sock hop, and then the Model T.
Okay. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you before you keep going. We got a comment here from Premium Rabbit, who said, congrats on the Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3. Also, one more question. Why are people hating on Spider-Man 2? If you hate it, don't play it. It's just that simple. Anyways, congrats to BG3.
Yeah, who's hating Spider-Man? Oh. That game slaps.
Great game. A lot of controversy around Spider-Man 2 in terms of people say it's woke. Of course, people say the same thing about Baldur's Gate 3 too, but a lot of people say that Spider-Man 2 is woke. I don't care about any of that stuff, guys.
Yeah, that's not
I'm not about politics. I don't care about politics in games. I just don't even care. If it's a good game, it's a good game, and I don't care about that kind of stuff.
I don't either. I don't care who either Spider-Man voted for.
Right. And I don't care who either voted for. Miles isn't old enough to vote yet, but...
No, but he will be one day.
He will be soon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, he's got a lot of real-world experience. We should probably just go ahead and let him vote.
Probably. Guys, I don't care. I'm not the type of person that tries to push politics. I don't see politics in games. I like to say, is this game fun?
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Honestly, people who are hating on Spider-Man for that need to get over themselves.
Yeah.
Stop making yourself miserable.
Yeah. Just like, don't play the game if you don't want to play the game. Or you can just play the game and not worry about trying to force politics onto every video game.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Exactly.
It's a video game, guys. It's not that deep.
We ran a poll not too long ago about why do people play games, and the primary reason was escapism.
Right.
I wonder what they're trying to escape from.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a comment from Ian Wood 6438 who said, all worthy. To be fair, all really good games.
To be fair.
To be fair.
You know what? All of them were really good games. Mm-hmm. I think we've said in past podcasts, like, I loved all the games that were nominated. Alan Wake 2 I didn't love. I liked, but it was a little too weird for me.
Yeah.
Personally. The gameplay just wasn't good enough in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The way it was presented was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved that, but the gameplay wasn't my jam.
Yeah, that's the only one that I haven't played that was in the category, and all the other ones were amazing. Mm-hmm. And I did play another Remedy game. I recently finished Control, and if Alan Wake 2 is anything like Control, it's great. So I think it was probably a great year for the category.
It really was. And I think all were worthy of being there. So there you go.
Right. Well, if you want another place to come hang out and let us, talk crap about games and maybe shoot a little more off the cuff than you're used to, come watch us on Twitch. We stream over there not once, not twice, but 3 times a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Yep, at 8 p.m. Eastern specifically. Word. So there's a link to the Twitch channel in the description of this podcast, wherever you're getting it. All right, so the Game Awards. I put out another poll about the Game Awards asking what's the best part of the Game Awards, because I know everyone watches the Game Awards for different reasons.
Right.
And yeah, we got some interesting things here.
Yeah, so at 7%, people said the awards.
Yeah, that was our lowest thing.
That is so funny. At 63%, people said the reveals. At 8%, people said the awkward moments, and there are plenty.
Yeah.
And at 21%, people said, you know him, you love him, Flute Guy.
Flute Guy is a highlight of the Game Awards for sure.
I love Flute Guy so much. He freaking jams. I love that guy.
So obviously most people watch it for the game reveals, not necessarily the awards. And you know what? Jeff Keighley knows that because the bulk of the thing is all about game reveals. The awards go by really fast, and they're rushing people off stage. They're not even letting them give acceptance speeches.
That low-key irritated me by the end of it. Let's rename them. Let's call them the game reveals. I don't know. Did you at all feel that was a little, maybe a little much?
I do feel like it was a little much. I do understand. I remember last year before the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley said, we're really, really trying to keep it shorter. Because I think back in 2021, it really went long. Yeah. It was 4 hours long or something. It was forever long. And he was like, I want to keep it under 3.
Yeah.
And then last year, they pretty much did try to, speed things along. But then we had Christopher Judge coming on and making an 8-minute speech, 9-minute speech, something like that. And it was so long.
And it was too long.
It was way too long.
It was too long. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been, maybe got a little bit of a talking to from Mr. Keighley. That was too long.
Yeah.
But I feel like they really took that out on everybody.
Yeah, they overcompensated.
They overcompensated for sure.
I would rather them reduce the game reveals a little bit and give them more time to do their acceptance speeches, because it seems to me that, and I may be wrong here, but it seems to me if you want your game revealed at the Game Awards, if you pony up the cash, Jeff's going to let you do it.
It doesn't seem like he's very selective.
No.
And I think maybe he could stand to be a little more selective. I think maybe he could cut about 3 or 4 Fortnite advertisements.
There were so many.
So many. I think some of those awkward moments when you just have a dev standing on stage talking to Jeff or I don't know the other lady's name, but both of them did this, from time to time. Those don't seem to be timed moments.
No.
And I'm not saying that we don't do some of that,
right.
but maybe we just, think about what do you really want to give credence to here? And what are you really trying to celebrate? You're trying to celebrate the games and the people that made them. But it felt like you were trying to rush through and gloss over that to get to another Fortnite commercial.
That is how it seemed. That is how it seemed.
Yeah.
All right, we got a comment from Luke who says, my favorite part of the Game Awards by far is the live medley they do for the Game of the Year nominees.
Yes, and then Randy responded and said, so AKA Flute Guy.
It is his time to shine.
And I do love that medley. I always forget about it. And then we get to the end of the night and I'm tired, I'm sleepy. And they're like, okay, here's a song. And I'm like, oh my God, not a song. And then Flute Guy appears and I'm happy.
Yeah. This is maybe my musical nitpickiness. I don't know they've always done this, but I know for the last 2 years, at least, and now I may just be misremembering, but for the last 2 years, for sure, they have done this thing where the medley at the end, they maintain a single tempo.
Yeah, they do that.
And then they force the songs within this single tempo.
Yeah.
I don't love that. I know this is off topic. It's nothing to do with gaming, but I don't love that. I wish that they would find some more clever ways, because there are things you can do to adapt. You could do some triplet stuff and have new time signatures and new tempos, things like that you could make it so that it flowed naturally. And you made these songs sound more true to their original, because sometimes they're warping these songs in a way that is kind of like they don't get to shine the way they did in the games.
Yes. And if you want Randy to make a video detailing the intricacies and complexity of metric modulation, comment here and he'll do it.
It's something that I am very passionate about and love. I don't get to talk about it very much.
No, but you're right. They certainly take some of those songs and try to fit a square peg through a round hole. They definitely do. But that being said, it's a feel good moment. I don't let it get to me.
Yeah. I whoever does the arrangements, I'm not trying to like crap on what you do. It's good. It's very good. It's cool that you're able to fit them all within this kind of like one single tempo structure. That's awesome. I just think it'd be cooler another way.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So we got us a comment here from the Marco Monty, who says, the game reveals are okay, nothing groundbreaking, but they're okay. But the awkward moments, oh my God, do I love the awkward moments. Watching and hearing silence from the crowd to whatever is being presented is how I imagine video game shows be all about.
Yeah. Well, speaking of awkward moments, Daniel, awkward moments at the Game Awards, they're my favorite part. I adore them. I live for those awkward moments.
They're pretty great.
It's like The Office, it's this awkward sitcom thing going on, but it's in real life and it's happening right in front of you. And it feeds my soul in a way that like almost nothing else does.
Yeah, I do love them. And, they start in the pre-show.
Oh yeah, they do.
I mean, they start from the get-go and they don't end until the stream is over. It's a good time. It's
like whoever they have writing the jokes is like a pro at nothing but groaners. That's all this person can write.
Oh, man.
It's like nothing but groaners.
It can be so cringy.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful.
I love it. I love it. All right. Oh, we got Michael here. Michael Richardson says the Alan Wake dancing song.
I love that so much. That was great.
It was cool. It was more awkward at the Game Awards, which was awesome, but the actual one in the game was much cooler, less awkward. Dude. So, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go for the Game Awards one because it was very awkward. I love the lip syncing from the dude who plays Alan Wake. Loved that. I love that it wasn't perfect and he was off a lot. That was great.
I needed the awkward. That was part of why I loved it. I don't want it to be unapologetically awesome or unironically awesome. I want it to be a little awkward. And I'm not convinced that the one in the game isn't a little awkward, but maybe it's not.
It definitely is a little awkward. It's got to be.
Yeah, it does.
But it wasn't as awkward as the Game Awards performance, for sure.
That was lit. It was totally lit. I loved that. The song was stuck in my head as I was going to sleep that night. I couldn't ask for anything more.
And you only heard it one time, guys. I mean...
I think I could almost sing it right now.
Go for it. I want you to try.
I can't remember the word. Can you tell me the words? Something of darkness.
Yeah. It's let me think.
Nightman.
No. It has some vibes of that.
That's what it reminded me of. Is the Nightman from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it definitely has some vibes. Yeah, it's a Herald of Darkness, I think. Right.
Herald of Darkness.
Maybe not. That doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it was like I am a champion of something. Maybe it's not darkness.
Oh gosh,
I don't remember. Light or no?
No, you're thinking Nightman.
Yeah, champion of light and karate and friendship.
Yeah. See, at least we know where their inspiration came from.
It's gotta be. Gotta be.
It's gotta be. All right, y'all. We've talked so much about the Game Awards. If you hung out with us this entire time, you are a trooper. And we want to celebrate you and thank you for doing that. And we want to shout you out at the end of the next podcast. And the way we do that is through our 3 for Dale Club.
Oh, yeah. Our 3 for Dale Club. It's that exclusive organization that you can only join by leaving us a comment on the YouTube version of the podcast that says whatever the heck you want to say, but includes the phrase 3 for Dale.
Yep, that's our secret code phrase that lets us know that you made it all the way to the end. We'll read those and we'll shout you out at the end of the next podcast. And now for this one, starting off the 3 for Dale Club today, we got Dale himself. Oh, Landon Stallings. He's always part of the 3 for Dale Club. And he watched our podcast on Monday, but he was waiting for the Indie Game of the Year outcome before he commented because Sea of Stars won, and he's very excited about that.
Me and you both, Landon. I'm telling you what, I popped off when it pulled it off. Next up, I think we got us a new member here at the 3 for Dale Club, Tim Despair Bear.
Tim Despair Bear. I like your name.
I do too.
A Despair Bear. All right, next we got Bobbity, who's been gone for a while. but is back. Still here watching the podcast. Bobby,
Welcome
glad to have you back and part of the 3 for Dale Club.
Welcome back. Next up, we got D18, who feels like big companies can still make indie games in certain situations, like if it's a real small branch of the studio. So I feel you on that. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for being
We had
a
a
member.
little conversation in the comments about this, and I was like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way, but at the same time, even if it's a small team, small budget, just having the name of the big developer behind them kind of gives them an unfair advantage in terms of like if their game will succeed or not.
Yeah.
Just because they have the name behind them, even if it was a small team, small budget, passion project kind of thing.
Right. And this is a non-issue because we're at issue 98 of the Gaming Gig podcast, which means in 2 we'll be at episode, did I say issue?
You said issue because you said it's a non-issue.
We'll be at issue 100 of the Gaming Gig podcast soon, and we will be unveiling the indie game rubric. And no one will ever have to debate on it again.
That'll be part of our 100th episode celebration. I'm excited about that.
I am too.
It's gonna be fun.
It is.
All right. Next, we got Kitaclysm, who said, this is a very good topic, talking about our indie game topic from last week. Saying, indie game, I love indie games, and I'm a big fan of non-arbitrary definitions.
Yep. Well, you ain't going to have to worry about it any longer, because I got you, bro.
You're going to set it up, yep.
Next up, we got, I'm telling you what, long-time member, long-time commenter. He hangs out on Twitch. He plays Baldur's Gate with us. He's everywhere. He's the Laninator. And he said, things I needed in my life but didn't realize until this moment, Daniel's Indie Games qualification rubric.
It's going to happen.
When you have your finger on the pulse of gaming, you have your finger on the pulse of gaming. I don't know what to say, Cody.
What else can you say? I mean, there's nothing else to it. Next, we got Tom Derry, who's hyped that you're starting Dragon Quest 11.
I'm telling you what, I'm just flattered by all this shine I'm getting here in the 3 for Dale Club. But I started it already, and it's awesome. Oh, next up we got our buddy Devin Parks, who we just saw last night at the gig.
Buddy,
yeah, real life buddy, who said, "Do great Crayolas, not drugs," and I couldn't agree more.
If you know, you know. All right. Next, we got Morris Dennison, our favorite name in all of
Gaming.
The gaming conversations on YouTube, because Morris is always there. Said, was the first to comment on our video. Always like the moment it drops, I swear he's got the little bell icon rung. He's like, "Phew, comment first thing. First, awesome. Thank you for having our back and being there for us."
Yeah, thanks.
What did I say?
I don't know. You didn't say anything weird. You have this like boyish enthusiasm about you, and it's infectious, man. I don't know what to say.
I've been, ever since seeing Flute Guy, I realized he has such a lust for life, an enthusiasm about him that I just want a little bit of that in my life.
Hashtag lust for life. You heard it here.
If you know, you know.
Next up, we got Guy, rounding out the 3 for Dale Club, who said, "I'm a simple man. I see a new Gaming Gig podcast. I 3 for Dale." That's all we're asking.
Yeah, guys. So if you made it through the podcast and then the 3 for Dale Club, and you're not a member of the 3 for Dale Club yet, you need to be. Leave us that 3 for Dale comment.
Yeah, man. Hope your keyboard works.
All right, guys. Until next time, I'm Randy.
Which makes me Daniel.
This has been Gaming Gig.
Peace out.